flat tire. I don't know how to fix it. What will I do?
But don't worry, bro. I know an efficient way to change a tire. Hello, my name is Matthew Cahill. I am an automobile expert, and I'm here to teach you how to change a car's tire. My purpose is to teach you all how to change a tire, and the reason I think this is so important is because we're all going to own multiple different cars during our life, and this situation is simply going to happen, and sadly it's probably going to happen more than once where you have to replace a car tire. But I'm going to tell you different ways that cause a car tire to pop, and I'm also going to tell you different ways that you can avoid popping your car tire and keeping it in great substantial health. From May to November is known as blowout season when it comes to tires. Most of the tires that blow every single year happen from May to November because of the heat. The heat really does end up getting to the tires and it starts to get them to fall apart, and this also works with the fact that most people drive more than any other time of the year during the summer. There's multiple ways that you could blow your tire. But the main way is under inflation. Most people end up blowing their tire in the end because they neglect to inflate it and keep it inflated to the right degree. In every single car on your driver's side door, there is a little sticker, and it's going to be on the door between where it locks and the actual bar. And what it says is it says your tire pressure. So any car, no matter new or old, you can go and you can find out the exact tire pressure that you need to keep it at. And it's recommended that you go every 2 weeks to add air to your tires. It will increase the tire life expectancy by about half of a year. Also, one of the big problems is overloading. Not a lot of us really think about the fact that we can actually overload our cars, but when we do, it breaks pieces of the tire on the inside, which makes it not ride as well. Now, here are some preventative methods that you can use to help avoid your tires from popping. Even though you're most likely to pop a tire sometime in your life, there's many different ways you can prevent that from happening. One of the things you need to start doing every once in a while, like every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, is you need to start looking at your car's tread. Go check out every single one of your tires and make sure that the tread is at least half an inch thick, or you're not seeing any white line on the outer wall of the tire. On the outer wall of the tire is the tire that's closest to you, and you will see this tiny little white line going around the rim of it whenever your tire needs to be reassessed and retreaded. That will greatly help the way the tire sticks to the road and will also save gas. Whenever you get your oil change, it's also best to rotate your tire, because the metal that's inside of your tire can get thrown off whenever you run over rocks or you hit a pothole, which is definitely something you need to avoid. Avoid all potholes. But rotating your tires basically helps put all of the different pieces back in order where they need to be, and it'll help save gas and save your tire's health. You also want to make sure that you don't overload your car. A lot of people don't really look at this as being a problem, but it really is. It causes a great toll on your tire's life by basically putting so much pressure on them that they're just ready to explode. So most of the time, whenever you see those cars with that have an absolutely exploded tire and they're sitting on the side of I-75, that's normally why that happened. Now here's what you need to replace a car tire. Before you begin, there are a few tools and materials that you're going to need before you can replace your tire. You're going to need a jack, you're going to need a screwdriver, and you're going to need a breaker bar. Now that you know what you need to change your tire, I'm going to explain how you actually change it. With your parts ready, you can begin by removing the flattened tire. What you first do is putting the truck on a jack and then raising the jack. Pause it. To raise the jack on a car, you're going to need a few things. You're going to need the jack, you're going to need a screwdriver. What you do is you put the screwdriver through the jack and then you crank it. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Once you have gotten the car on the lift, you must break the bolts. Now that you've broken all of your bolts, you need to remove them in a crisscross fashion. Now that you've removed all of your bolts, you can remove your tire. You must locate your spare tire. Now that you have your spare tire, you must make sure that the concave end is the side that attaches to the hub of the car. Once your new replacement tire is put back on, you must make sure that the alignment between the threaded bolts and the holes are correct.
Now that your tire is aligned correctly, you need to tighten the bolts by hand in a crisscross fashion. Now, after hand tightening, you must get the breaker bar and then make sure all of the bolts are securely fastened.
Now that you've checked and make sure your tire is on and fully fastened, you can then start to lower your jack and remove it. When lowering the jack, you're going to do the opposite of how you raised it. You're going to go lefty-loosey before you go righty-tighty. Knowing what tools and having the techniques needed to remove and replace a flattened tire, you are now prepared for whenever this predicament slips into your life. This is essential to the car owner because it is a predicament that every car owner will eventually run into. And that's how you change a car tire.
Now I know how to change a tire. I'm an independent driver.